So, Mike, the federal government just went into a partial shutdown after Congress failed to reach a deal. President Trump says he didn't want it to happen, but that the shutdown gives him a chance to cut programs and even lay off large numbers of federal workers. Democrats are pointing to lost health care subsidies. Republicans are blaming spending fights. And both sides are throwing punches. Do you think a shutdown is ever a good thing, or is it just political chaos?
I mean, I don't think the shutdown is a good thing. I do think that this falls more heavily on the Democrat side because if you look at the vote, um, they missed passing a bill by, I think, 5 votes, of which was, all on the Democrat side largely. So I mean, one could extrapolate from that and say the Democrats were the ones that caused the shutdown, clearly. They're arguing one of the problems that I see is that they're using the government as a hostage, and by the way, most of the programs that the Democrats are saying that are to be terminated aren't actually happening for like more than 6 months. So it isn't like this can't be discussed between now and then and modifications or whatnot be made. So they're really trying to force the hand today, and I see that as a problem because they're obviously causing damage to other things, collateral damage, if you will. Uh, I I looked at what they're arguing about. If you look at the spending bill that was supposed to pass, or that was put up to be voted on, I didn't think it was that bad. There were a few things, like you mentioned, Phil, that the Democrats were talking about, particularly with health care and some subsidies and some other stuff that were, by the way, were supposed to sunset anyways. All of them,
Right.
all of them, they're arguing to be continued.
Mm-hmm.
None of them were voted on that in the first place. They all had finite terms to them. So it isn't like the Republicans are trying to get rid of programs that were supposed to continue to exist. So to me, I hate to say it, but I've got to agree on the Republican side on this one. I think it's the Democrats' fault.
Well, I agree with that, but not only that, I think they are really effing up, Mike. You know, you were just mentioning how we went from calling the cartels terrorists and now we're declaring war and the power that it's given to Donald Trump. Well, they just did the same thing. They gave him even more power because under the Antideficiency Act, once a shutdown happens, federal agencies can't spend a dime on the most essential constitutional duties. That funnels even more control straight to Trump. He decides which programs keep running and which jobs get cut. Mike, do you think Democrats, by letting this shutdown unfold, are playing right into a trap that actually strengthens his hand? Because
Yes.
I do.
Yes, I believe that this makes Trump stronger. I don't. I sound like a broken record. I almost sound like a broken Orange Taylor Swift record at this point. The Democrats continue to do stupid things to give Trump, well, A, to get Trump elected, and then B, to make him stronger. And I want you guys to write me messages if you disagree with that. But I I challenge you to show me how the Democrats haven't made Trump strong. It's unquestionably the case, and this is just another example of it happening. And by the way, Trump, it isn't like it was a secret. Trump threatened this before they voted. Look, you're going to give me a chance to get rid of programs, get rid of people, and lay people off. Trump's not secretive. Like he can't keep a secret. He said it right out what he was going to do. And by the way, everything that he's done, he pretty much said during his campaign, Project 2025 or whatever, posted a lot of this shit. I mean, there to me, there's no surprises going on. It's a playbook, and they're continuing to play into it.
I think
It boggles my mind, Phil, how dumb they are.
I think it's going to help other Republicans. I think this is going to set up a lot of Republicans in the 2026 elections to stand firmer in their position if they're an incumbent. And I think you're going to see a lot of new Republicans kick Democrats out the door and replace them in 2026. And it'll all be because of these moves that we're discussing now.
I mean,
Because you got
particularly
to
if they
think
keep
that
doing them.
the average person looks at these things from a whole different way than the people making these calls.
Mhm.
And I haven't heard nobody who isn't like a staunch Democrat defend Democrats in a long time.
No, you can even look at New York City with the Zoran Mandami thing. And since our last podcast, Mayor, what's his name, dropped out of the race. And to be honest, I think Mandami's still going to win. And I think at this point, Trump and his allies have decided that that actually might be a good thing because it's going to prove to New Yorkers, but the world in general, that this guy is not that good. And the problem is that Trump, like I said, doesn't keep any secrets, and he's already said that he's going to pull money from him and pull money from the city. Guys, if you don't think that's going to happen, I just don't. I don't understand what drug you're on. I just don't get it.
Mike, you're touching on something that I've been laughing about ever since the first day he went into office this time. The Democrats keep acting surprised about things that I've been hearing him talk about for like 2 years on the trail. And I'm like, were you even listening to your enemy?
Mm-mm. They're not. They're not. Not only are they not listening to their enemy, they're not listening to their own people.
That's
Because
true.
one could argue that, let's just use New York City as an example, that Zoran Mandami is not super popular with his own party, what I'm going to call the core middle of the road Democrats. And I don't think if you took a cross section of America, he's very popular either. I think
I
that
agree with that.
they're in a bubble there in New York City a little bit, and part of that is not. It's not that New York City people are dumber or anything, but the reality is they had a extremely crooked mayor right now. They've got Cuomo running, who was the former governor, and he was also crooked. So their choices aren't very good. And a lot of them are suffering from gentrification and whatnot and everything else in New York City. It's expensive as shit. They're looking for anything. They're grasping at straws.
And you have a
But
lot of younger people that
yep.
they buy into those ideas.
Well, I mean, Mondami is good looking. He's well spoken. He does social media well. He can do TikTok dances. I mean, so yeah, the young people are gravitating towards him. I get that. I've listened to a bunch of what he's had to say, and he sounds good saying it,
Oh yeah.
for sure. He definitely sounds good for saying it. I would go as far as he has some Obama-esque traits, meaning like he's that well spoken and that convincing that I think that he's super charismatic. So,
Hmm.
but but here you are on the other side. If I'm a New Yorker and I've got the most powerful guy in the world in Donald Trump, um, telling us that if you vote for this guy, we're going to pull funds and we're going to make your city a piece of shit. I, you know, I I know it's blackmail, but I would take that a little bit seriously.
I would too.